right, so this is going to be the last video for our animation hack witch. And this is cool and all, but again, we want to do something that makes it a little bit more automatically automated. I didn't actually mean to say it that way, but you know what? I'm going to go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put right below this text and right below the modifiers of the text, I'm going to put a button. So when I want a button, I'm going to type in BU. There we go. I want a title action button. It's one of the more common ones that we use. And I'm going to say press me for the label. Whenever I see this, I want to hit return. And I'm going to call my with animation. Again, this is explicit animation. So I'm going to say with animation. There we go. And I've got my body right here. So I'm going to say defaults and then missing argument. So what do you want me to do? The code's saying like, what do you want me to start? What do you want me to do when you start and end? And we're going to say angle and plus equals 180. All right. So now what we have is now we've got this button, and when we flip it, there we go. Now our angle is changing. And so now we can do fun things and we can be like, all right, nothing's happening right here because and I'm going to just reset this to 0. There we go. It's going to press me, set it back to there. It should have set. I don't care. It should have rewritten back to 0. I don't care at this point in time. So I'm going to set my X value, and I'm going to set my Y value to more, and then I'm going to set my Z value. And now when it grabs this, it's going to, and again, this is the explicit animation. I'm going to press me, and then it does a cool little flippy thing. So what happens is it says to apply all of these to the X, Y, and Z value. So if I want to make it do like a really weird flip, I can, increase this a little bit more, and it kind of does like this weird spin. You can kind of play around with it. And now if I want to see everything at once, remember, I can go back to my app, uncomment my contact view, and I have all of them at once. So I've got my tap me that will spin. I've got my toggle that will toggle and do a whole bunch of stuff. I've got my hide there that when I hit press me, it flips a whole bunch of different crazy ways. Maybe I can make that negative and go on the other axis. Maybe I can make it, and I can just do some crazy little spins and movement around. So that is animation plus what Coding with Tim taught us. Again, there's no walking across the app with this, but it's really more like making movements, making things appear, disappear, and kind of just getting the basics with it. So here's your challenge. Your challenge is kind of, let me show you the challenge. So the challenge is right here. So we've got some spins. Look at how many different views we have over here. Craziness happening. So what the challenge is when you select these, they're going to spin. The idea is to put these in different ways. Here we go. Here's the challenge actually finished. So we've got spins here, and it spins on the center axis or center anchor. Here we have it flips. So we're having it flip, rotating almost like you're playing, I don't know, Flippy Cup on both of these. Why are there two? Well, because the directions say you actually are supposed to do these in 2 different ways. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think it's cool to be able to do it both different ways. And if you can figure out how to do it both different ways, awesome. But if you can just figure out how to do it the one way, like challenge accepted. If you can figure out how to do it in both different ways, because there's 100 different ways to code this, definitely make sure that you bring that to my attention. I will be looking at your guys' code for this. The spinning in itself is not challenging. Doing it in 2 different ways, challenge yourself. So we've got this flips here. We have the moves. This doesn't do anything, but this is the cool part. And as soon as I hit this arrow button, it's going to fly off. Woo, Woo! It's going to fly up. Oh, I have to reset it. That's another problem. And then a stretch is doing something that you just kind of play around with. So this, at this point, you're really supposed to have the most fun and kind of play around with these. So again, the spinning 1 view and the spinning 2 view. Spinning 1, according to the directions, is supposed to use the explicit animation. The explicit animation is when you look at something and you go, like the width animation and then the rotation effects. And then you can do the animation modifier or the rotation modifier in the current degrees. So again, take a look at those, have fun playing around with it, but mostly show me that you've done something. So here we go, moves. It keeps needing to reset. I need to reset this whole thing. So it just showed me that you kind of had fun playing around with it. So here, if I put the down arrow, then it goes down. I thought there was a reset button, but there's not. Have fun, and definitely zipped file on this one because there's a lot to play around with. And if you, at this point, if you have something like spin and grow huge and like in my face, awesome. Have fun.